Hey folks, welcome to another unboxing video at Wolfpain's Gaming Den. I'm very excited about today's unboxing. This is a game that I had played a while back with one of my friend's copies. I completely loved it, and I only recently got my own copy out of the second printing on Kickstarter recently. So let's go to the table, let's open it up, see what's inside. We'll also have a look at the coins that came with the game, and these, I know what they look like. These are some of the best looking coins I have seen aesthetically on any game, so I'm excited. Let's go see what it looks like. Alright folks, so here we have the cover for Pax Pamir 2nd edition, designed by Cole Worldy. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Designed by Worldgig. So it looks like it's a publishing house that's perhaps associated with the designer of the game. This is the second print run for this particular version, so it's the second printing 2020. There was the earlier printing was, I believe, 2019, if I'm not mistaken, and that was an updated version of a game that had come out a little while back. So this is an updated version. The 2019 was an updated version as well, and this is the second print run of the updated version. So back here we can see sort of like a close-up shot of what you can expect the game to look like with some of the cards that come in the game as well. It's a game that plays about 1 to 5 players in about 45 to 150 minutes. Age is 14 and above. The timing, I would say, it's fairly reflective. There are some certain victory condition cards of the game that can trigger endgame when and as it comes out, which is why you see a bit of a disparity in terms of the range, but generally my experience has been closer to an hour and a half, 2 hour mark. So realistically that may be the time you might be looking at if you're doing a full 3 or a 4 player game. So let's open it up and see what's inside. So there are some interesting and unique components in this game which we'll have a look at together. Right. So the front cover is simple and elegant. There's obviously the name of the game written big up front. I don't know if you can make this out or not. There's a little bit of embossing going on with I believe this is Arabic scripture at the bottom, and then the banner that has 2nd edition written on it. But very, very nice aesthetically. Color scheme, I'm generally not a fan of a purple or violet or whatever this color is, but this is very attractive and works really well. And maybe we'll just have a look at the inside here as well before we move on. So as you can see, the inside of the box has lovely artwork going on in here. It is beautiful. It looks like almost as a painting sort of a vibe. I'd be curious to find out if this is a replication of a actual painting, or if this is something that was done originally for the game. So, but love it so far. It's always a nice touch to see artwork in spots you usually would not find it. We have the rulebook at the very top, and it is not a light game, so I expect there to be quite a bit of stuff going on in here. We can see the components. The map, will come to that when we have a look at it. It is an interesting piece in this game itself. Talks a little bit about the cards, setup, key concepts and terms about the game, general rules, and now we get into the sequence of play itself. So as you can see, there is some information you need to process before you can actually go into learning the rules of the game itself, and it's not a light game, as I mentioned earlier, so there is definitely quite a bit happening. Dominance check. So this is I think this is the one I was talking about, where you can find out if there is an early into the game or not. Playing with Wakan, I don't know if that's a variation or not. Might be the solo rules, I think, perhaps. So additional setup, general rules, card-based action, notes. Nice. Not a lot of artwork and color, but I think it's the right amount for the game and the tone it brings in. So generally happy with the look of this rulebook so far. Now here we have some boards that you will be punching out. Let's have a look at one of these. So this is the player board that you will keep with you over the course of the game. It is double-sided, so there's artwork in the background, but this is the side you will really have face up that you will use. And this also gives you a quick overview of the turn structure that you're taking, as well as key things to keep to be aware of. Coins that can be used in the game, but obviously we have the metal ones, so I'll be playing with those when I sort of like am able to bring it out. But for cardboard tokens, these are not bad. For any other game, I think you'd be happy with the general thickness and the quality of these. And these are, and I should just say these are all punching out fairly nicely. The quality is pretty decent. So generally the way that this would work, you would have clips that attach on in here, and then you can rotate this to set your allegiance over the game on this. And the back is relatively blank, but that's how you would have it set up. So more player boards for additional players. Now, other than color, they look fairly similar. I don't think there is a variation in terms of individual player setup in that sense. And the artwork for all of these is the same as well. So, and then there is 3 more of these, and as you can see, these are all just punching out as I just sort of like even touch it. It's not really taking a lot of effort. There we go, more stuff that's just coming off. So there's 5 of those for the 5 players. This is where I believe this is the market board where you have cards that you can sort of like buy or acquire. I forget exactly how that was done. It was a while back. Now, if you flip it over on the other side, you will see the board of the game. So you might be asking yourself, hey, if you use this to put down cards, then how is this on the other side, and how can you play a game with both of these? And that's because there's another map that you can use, which is in here. We'll have a look at that. So generally what you might be doing is you'll use this side to sort of like have the cards laid out in the tableau, and then the other map that's in the box to play the game itself. But if you want, you can obviously use this side. It's perfectly works perfectly fine, and then perhaps you can just it's not a lot of information going on other than the numbers at the top, so you can just have it laid out on the table as well. This is artwork over here is okay. If you look at just this, there's not a lot to get excited about, but the other board does have some nifty little things if you haven't seen it yet, which we'll have a look at. These are player reference sheets, and it looks like you get just 2 of these, which is a bit unfortunate. It would be good to get 5 for the max possible 5 players you can have in the game. But as you can see, there's a lot happening in the game itself, so these are not your sort of like, small cards that just have the rules of the turn order written on them. Single-sided, yeah, but generally okay. Alright, this is where we go into some interesting things. Let's build it over. Right, let's maybe just do this. Alright, we'll move this to the side, and before we do, again, inside of the box, nice artwork going on in here. So overall, lots of very nice touches throughout. Right, so this is the insert. Comes with a lid, which helps to keep things in check. Set of bags for you to put your pieces in, so we'll definitely appreciate those. Wooden bits, let's maybe have a look at these first. So these are separated by individual play colors. These are fairly standard cylinder wooden pieces. Oops, we'll pick that up later on. And these might be extras, it looks like, 1 in each color. Oh, these might be the point markers actually, sorry. So they are, again, very similar cylinder, same size, same color, but they do have silk screen printed on one side, so it's a nice little touch. This is, I believe, the minaret. I don't know what the... It's a little heavy, so it makes me think that this is perhaps not wood. I don't know if you can make it out or not, but there's a very good amount of detail going on in here. Feels like clay for some reason, almost. Yeah. Nice though, I like it. Feels hefty. Feels solid. More markers. Now these are silk printed. I believe the earlier printing on this one were engraved. Now these might be a bit more functional from what I understand in terms of looking at it and being able to tell the symbol from a distance. But engraving to me is always personally preferable compared to printed, but it might just be a matter of personal choice. So, but if you have the second version to look forward to, then you are getting silk screen printed markers for these. All right. Tokens to clip together the these that we had a look at earlier on. All right, best stuff coming up right now. So first of all, the cards, and I do remember liking the cards quite a bit, and I'll tell you a couple of things that I like about these over a lot of other similar games perhaps. So first of all, assuming I can get these out. Sorry folks, I'm not the greatest at taking wrappers off stuff, it seems. All right, so first of all, stock quality is really good, decent amount of thickness. I love the artwork on these. These look like sort of like, you know, historical figures, but almost like paintings of or artwork of historical figures. Really, really lovely on that front. Then there's a lot of historical flavor text going on in here, and for those who appreciate that kind of stuff, there's a lot you can read through, learn about the history, background of the conflict in question itself. Just really wonderful stuff going on in here. And the back of the card is nice pattern sort of going on over here. So yeah. But aesthetically, I love the look of the cards, I'll be honest. I am partial to this game somewhat, having played it before, so I guess having fond memories of the gameplay does perhaps cloud one's opinion, but I remember being impressed when I even was playing it the first time around, so it's good to see the quality has stayed consistent. Let's have a look at the second deck of cards and see what's in here. So more of the same, a lot of figures. There's a lot of unique artwork, I think, going on in here. So far I've not seen cards repeat, but again, I'm not going through them one by one. But it's just unique artwork for the most part. Like I'm just going through this one by one right now, and these are all unique. I've not seen anything repeat so far, so very impressive stuff right there. Then you have these cards. These are the ones for the dominance check to see if certain conditions have been met to win the game or not. If purchased, I forget what these are, but they have the same background, so perhaps these will go on the market board as well. These might be solo rule cards, perhaps. I don't remember playing with these when I played earlier on, so it might be sort of like your automated opponent, but don't hold me to it. I'm not 100% certain on that. And then these two cards. I don't know what these are, but these have a different back printing. And again, really sort of like makes you appreciate the artwork that's been put in the game. Really good stuff. All right, so those were the cards. Now we'll bring out the markers. And these are again another, aspect of the game that I just love playing around with the last time. Let's break it open, bring some of these out. So these are markers you'll be placing on the board over the course of the game. The three colors symbolize the different allegiances you can have. So British, Russian, Afghan. Yellow is Russian, so you can see the colors match up with the circular cylinders we had seen here as well. So these are Russian, these are the green ones are Afghan, and then the pink ones are British. And these have a very, if you can make out the sound, like a very chunky quality feel to it. So I don't know if this is resin or if this is clay. It does not feel like wood for sure, but it just feels wonderful. And the level of detail in here is quite impressive as well. Let's see if I can hold the different ones up so that I can give you a sense on the pattern on these, because the detail going on is really, really nice. I know I'm gushing a little bit over the game and the components. I promise I am not sponsored in any way whatsoever. So let's have a look at these three together. Hopefully you guys can make it out. This is engraved, so there's a lot of detail going on in here. This one's nice. This is a checkered pattern. The yellow one really has wonderful sort of like engraving going on. This is probably my favorite of the three in terms of the pattern that it has. And then if you flip it over, and if you look at the sides up front, you have the symbols for the three different factions, and then the other side is blank. So over the course of the game, the way that it will work is you can have this either put up straight, or you can have it put to the side between different locations. Yeah, I might actually do a rules teach for this if I get the time. Let's see. So that's these, and then the other player board I was talking about. And this is sort of like a cloth mat, which is, I mean, when I first heard about it, back when we played last, I had mixed feelings as to how I would feel about it, but it just gives a very nice feel to the game and somehow seems authentic to the region as well. So as you can see, this is sort of like the game board that's laid out. The minaret is going to be going on these individual spots. This is your points track that goes around the side, which goes up as high as 23 here. So not a very high scoring game, obviously, as you can make it out. And then you have the different regions, Persia, Herat, I cannot completely see properly what it is, Transcapia, Kabul, Kandahar, and then Punjab. Wonderful stuff. So this is where you can use this as the player board and then use that market board to have the cards laid out. And with that, I think the only thing we have left is to look at the coins themselves. So if we open up the bag, so you get this bag that comes with it. All of these are same denomination in terms of coins, so there's not multiple of these, but super heavy, super chunky. I don't know if you can make the sound out or not. It's just so satisfying. And then the thing I like the most about this is just the artwork and the calligraphy that's going on, the coins themselves. It's just wonderful. It's very unique, unlike most other coins that I would have seen for any other game. The only thing that I would probably say is that it's a little on the thinner side as opposed to thick, but it still feels very solid, so I'm not really quite as fussed. The fact that there is the background seems to be a little bit darkened, so I don't know if there's a wash that's been done on these coins or not, but it has a really nice look where the front of it, the side that's sort of like lifted up, is a little lighter compared to the background, which is darker. Just wonderful stuff. Yeah, so with that, that's pretty much everything that comes in the box. So let's go back to the table and we'll wrap it up with some final words. All right, folks, so that is everything that came in the box for Pax Pamir. Hopefully you enjoyed the unboxing and the video gave you a good sense of the kind of components you can expect to see in the game. If this is the kind of game that interests you, you'll be glad to know that the component quality is top-notch and that you would not be disappointed. And with that, I think that's all I have on it. I might do a tutorial video on this And if I do, it should be up perhaps in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So keep an eye out for that if that's something that's of interest to you. And with that, that's it from me, and I'll see you the next one. Take care, guys.